The amount of productivity and fulfillment that you can have in each day of your life directly depends on your daily habits. Now, habits can be either productive or unproductive. Especially if you want to form a productive habit in your life, it takes a lot of time and effort, right? And if you have a habit that you find it very difficult to break, even if it's as small as checking your phone quite often, I'm going to tell you three ways how you can remove those habits from your life if you practice it well. Coming up. Hey guys, Nandip here. Thank you for watching this. Now I'm going to begin off by saying what are bad habits, right? Now you can just simply think of bad habits as any habit that leads to unproductivity. It doesn't lead anywhere good, whether it's in the physical health aspect of your life, your mental, your emotional, your financial, your occupational, any habit. Everywhere we have small habits and bigger habits that we do it for a very lengthy amount of time, not just for a few seconds. Now these habits are formed at a particular point of time, right? These unproductive habits that doesn't do any good to you, but it actually just gives you a quick piece of entertainment or a quick escape from any amount of stress or any boredom that you're going through, right? So by bad habits I basically mean anything that you do repeatedly which does not yield anything good for you. That's a bad habit, right? So the first step in removing a bad habit is identifying these unproductive habits that you have. So in order to do this, I came across this from a person called Dr. Humayun Sadeghi, and he says something about the reversal process. Before you go to bed at night, you think about your entire day in the reverse process. So if you're going to bed at night at 9:30 p.m., you think about all that you did and said in the reverse at 9, at 8 p.m., at 7 p.m., and you kind of just see what are the things that you did and what things that gave you some productivity, some fulfillment, whether it's a task in your work or, you know, doing your chores at home, doing your basic work at home. Um, and you'll be able to identify at that time, because try to just not think of any other thing that is occupying in your mind. Go in a quiet place if you can and just think of things. Just try to observe what are the things that you do that leads to unproductivity, right? Now common things are checking your phone quite often, right? Especially if people put a status, if it means something. Why do you really put a status? Let's say on WhatsApp, if you put a status, why do you really put it? Is it to share something, or is it to prove something? You need to ask question why. And apart from that, even if you post it, I know some people, excuse me, I know some people who keep checking it every now and then. Who has seen the status? How many people have seen it? I mean, it's a total waste of time, right? So if you do that, then that kind of tells you why you actually posted it, right? It's like that tells you that you are giving a lot of importance of what other people think of you. And now this is actually something unproductive, right? So this is just an example. Any habit that doesn't lead anywhere, or if you have a goal, it is not leading anywhere to your goal, it is only going back. I believe that anything that you do either takes you one step closer to your goal or one step backward, right? There is no you don't stand at the same point. So identifying them is the first step. Try to identify what are these small habits, especially in all the five aspects of life: in your physical health, your mind, your financial habits, how you spend your money. It can be applied to all areas of life. The second thing is, after you identify what your bad habits are, see what causes them. For every habit, there is a starting point, there is a trigger, right? It's a very subtle thing. For example, every time you cross a particular place, right? I know people who smoke. If they cross a particular lane, they see a shop, and a small shop where cigarettes are being sold, and if they see the shop, they feel like smoking, right? And I told one of my friend, try to take another route, just don't go that way. So the possibility of that's smoking was cut out. Right. So the reason I'm sharing this is, once you find the trigger, every habit has its own trigger, a starting point. It can either be two things basically. It can be something that gives you an instant pleasure, like a quick entertainment. Because if it's not something that makes you feel good, right? If it's something that makes you feel bad, you wouldn't be doing it. It has to be something that makes you feel good, like even if it's a small pleasure, small piece of pleasure. Now that can be the first thing. Or the second thing is, you either do it because it's a repetitive thing, right? It is not good or it's not bad, your mind doesn't care, but it's just a repetitive habit. For example, biting your nails, that just happens. Some people do it out of nervousness, so in that case nervousness is the cue. Other times people just do it, just simply bite their nails. So what causes them? Is it boredom? Is it stress? Somebody said something at office and you want to escape that stress. So it can be mostly out of these. For me, it used to be boredom. When I noticed that when I'm bored, there are these empty spaces in each day of our life, right? In every day we have these empty spaces, and in those empty spaces, when we're bored, what we do is what is most important. So that can be one of the cause. So first thing is, you identify what your bad habit is, and the second thing is, you identify what causes the bad habit, what triggers the bad habit. And the third thing that I want to share is, avoid the trigger gradually by replacing that with something else. Now, this is where I feel a lot of people struggle. They want to take off a bad habit, but that taking off is very contradictory with your mind, because your mind needs something as a replacement. And that's an easier way, much easier way. And I said the word gradually, consciously, because you want to be able to make it easier for you. Removing a habit is not that easy. And if you're watching this, in fact, I appreciate you taking this effort for yourself and trying to remove a bad habit. If you want to reduce your screen time, you can reduce it little by little by replacing that with something that you feel is more enjoyable, or at least equally enjoyable. But for that to be accepted by your mind, you need to gradually include that habit in your daily life. So I hope you've got some good points, some good values on how to remove a bad habit. Let me just give a quick recap on that. Now, bad habits are something that leads to unproductivity, that does not lead you anywhere good in any aspect of your life. And the first thing is to identify what these bad habits are in your life. And this is very can be easy for you. And the second thing is to identify what causes the bad habit. And the third thing is to avoid the trigger. Avoid at the very beginning, not once it starts, right? And by replacing that with something else, like you replace a junk snack with something like fruits or vegetables. So yeah, I think these three can be something that you can try today, tonight, if possible, and see how it works. And I'd love to read comments down below. Please comment below how this worked for you and what habits are you struggling from that is leading to unproductivity. Okay, so if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, please like if you really like this video, and do subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be posting a lot of video on habit formation and unproductivity, which is directly only leading to stress, right? So make sure to do that, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.